Middag. This is Faye Margana, and I'm here with some more Taekwondo. It's Taekwondo Tuesday, and we will start with a warm-up, and then we will review some of the stuff I already showed you in the last couple of weeks. So, just gotta get my hair tied up before I do anything too crazy. Let me just check the audio on this stream as well. Let's see. Make sure everyone can hear me. What shows around? Oops. There we go. Let me check the audio quickly. Seems to be working. Okay. And please ignore Nate in the background. So let's start with some. Oh, I saw my jewelry on. It's all right. I'm not actually gonna be hitting anything with my hands, really. I'll just take this off anyways. I always forget about my jewelry.
Huh?
You're modding, right?
Yeah.
Alright. I knew I forgot to do something. Why? The zipper on my pants just foobarred. Of course it did. Of course it did. No, the other way. Go down. Yes, I was trying to close it and then it got caught, so yes, go the other way. Alright, so Taekwondo Tuesday, let's warm up as usual. We start with start top down to warm up. We're gonna do some warming up our neck. It's from side to side. We're gonna do the neck first, side to side, and do, what is it, 10, count of 10. We're gonna count in Korean. Hana. 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯, 여섯, 일곱, 여덟, 아홉, and 열. And then half circle neck rotating. 5 front, 5 back. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, 다섯. And backwards. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, and 다섯. And do those gently. Next, shoulders. So make sure to keep yourself fairly relaxed for your warm-ups, and actually for Taekwondo generally just keep your body fairly relaxed. You don't want to be too tense. So shoulder rotations, this one we're gonna go forward and back and try to make big circles with your shoulders. So 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷, dasa, yosa, ilga, yuro, aho, and yo. And backwards. Hana, tul, set, net, dasa, yosa, ilga, yuro, aho, and yo. It's actually kind of bright out today, Nate. I just noticed. And next, arm swings, just to loosen yourself up a bit. So we're going to go forward 10 and back 10. These are just windmills. Hana, tul, set, net, dasa, yasa, ilgab, yura, aho, and yo. And backwards. Hana, tul, set, net, dasa, yasa, ilgab, yura, aho, yo. And actually, hold on a second. I have to do something. I keep trying to remind myself to do. This thing needs to refresh this. There's a way to refresh this. I wanted to refresh this thing. How do I refresh this? Oh, I remember. It's in here. Refresh, cache. There we go. Refreshing. That's better. Same with this one. Just want to refresh this. There we go. Alrighty, and so we did the neck, and we did the arms, and now we're gonna do the waist. We're gonna rotate to the left, and then to the right. What did I do? 5 times? 5, 10? I don't remember. 5. Hana, tul, set, net, dasa, and the other side. Well, hana, tul, set, net, and dasa. And hip rotations, so just the hips. So the waist will do like big rotations. We do big rotations on the waist. And then on the hips we do small rotations. 5 left, 5 right. Hana, tul, set, net, dasa. And other side. Hana, tul, set, net, and dasa. And knee rotations. So first of all, we're going to do some knee bends. And yeah, knee bends first and then knee rotations. So we're going to bend them, 1, 2, and then straighten them, push back gently, 1, 2. It's count of 4, it's 1 set. And we're going to do 5 sets. Hana, tul, set, net, hana. Hana, tul, set, net, tul. Hana, tul, set, net, net. Hana, tul, set, net, net. Sorry, first other one was set and this is net. Hana, tul, set, net, dasa. And actually I'm just going to do a slight stretch for me. Okay, and now knee rotations, keeping your knees together again. Okay, we're going to rotate left and then rotate right. 5 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry. Hana, tul, set, net, and dasa. Right, now ankle rotations. Keep your on your toes here, and we're going to do ankle rotations. But maybe I should move that Taekwondo Tuesday to the top. There we go. Because it's hard for you to see my feet. Then again, if it's at the top, it's also distracting. I'll redesign the layout a little bit later, I think. So ankle rotations, 5 left, 5 right, so 5 out, 5 in. Hana, tul, set, net, dasa. Hana, tul, set, net, dasa. And the same with this one, 5 out, 5 in. Hana, tul, set, net, dasa. Hana, tul, set, net, dasa. And the other thing you can do for your ankles is you can sit on the floor and you can grab your leg, keep your foot relaxed, and you can also shake it out a little bit. just to loosen your ankle if you feel like they're a little too tight. It also kind of loosens your feet as well. We'll do this one. Alright, so that's our little bit of a warm-up, and then we're going to do some Taekwondo drills. And so, first thing we're going to do is we are going to work with we're going to practice our blocks. I think let's practice our blocks first, or should we practice lunges? Let's practice our blocks first. And so, let's go in our ready stance, right? And I showed you the low block already. In the last couple of streams, I showed you the low block. I'm going to continue to review all the things that I've taught so far. So for the low block, Taekwondo low block, bring your blocking arm, bring it to the shoulder like this, right? And bring this across just slightly. So it looks kind of like this from different angles, right? And then at the same time, so you're gonna do this at the same time. So what happens is your blocking arm comes down, your non-blocking arm goes to the hip, right? And at the same time, you're twisting your arm. So the twisting motion gives you kind of a little bit of a snap. So when you do the blocks, actually when you do any technique in Taekwondo, you stay fairly relaxed until the moment of impact. So with a block, it's until the moment you block. And you tense up slightly towards the end. And now this motion with the other arm helps you control the force. I don't know if it controls it so much, it could also help a bit. So that's your low block. And now the other side, so from here, the other side, kind of do the same thing with the other hand. Bring the right hand to the shoulder, bring the left one across, and do the same motion on the other side. And it's like that. And again, stay relaxed. Stay relaxed to the motion. Stay relaxed at the beginning and through the motion until you block. Like that. So, that is your low block. We are going to do, let's just do 10. We're going to do 10 alternating. But you can also do 10 on the same side. I find that not quite so fun. Alternating kind of builds I think when you alternate, it builds a better rhythm. It has a better rhythm and flow for the techniques. So going back into, so our neutral stance, which we generally call a ready stance, we stand with our feet about shoulder width apart. You bring your hands up like this and down into fists right in front of you. Not too close, but about there. So about there. Okay? So we call that a junbi stance in Taekwondo. It's also called a ready stance. Junbi is the Korean word. So from there, we're going to do some low blocks, right? So we're going to start, actually just go in this position, right? So from junbi, go left hand out, right? Now we're going to start with doing our low blocks with the right hand. We're going to do 10. So, hana, 2, set, net, dasa, yosa, ilga, yuro, aho, and yo. And relax. We'll go back to junbi, relax. Okay, so that's your low block. That's the basic Taekwondo low block. Try to remember the Taekwondo term, the Korean term for the low block. I have to look up the Korean terms again, actually, because I don't remember it. I have haven't been training for some years now, so let me get another drink of water. I've been a little congested and sniffly this past week. Okay, so that was our low block. Next block. The next block, last time I showed you a middle block, and this is a pretty basic middle block for Taekwondo is fairly easy to use. I call it an outside to inside middle block because that's the direction your arm is going. You start on the outside, you're going to come in. Okay, so we're going to start again in our Junbi stance. Now, the blocking arm comes up like this. Doesn't quite matter. I mean, not too close to your ear, but about there. Comes about there, right? This arm, your non-blocking arm, comes out in front of you. I was also taught to put the non-blocking arm like this. I don't like it. I like this better. So, but in practice, I often find that my non-blocking arm is like somewhere between here and there, not exactly precise. So, I was originally taught this way. So for our middle block, or outside to inside middle block, okay, the right arm goes back to your hip, right? So we start palm down and twist and turn it upwards when it goes back to the hips. Now when you bring your fists to your hips, they always go back palm up. So that's the easy thing to remember. And with all these techniques, always try to keep your fists at the hips when you're doing techniques. You always go back to this kind of position. That way you always know where your hands are. Junbi stance is a ready stance, that's all, and often we'll go into this again. So our middle block, we start like this. Now bring the right hand to your hip, and at the same time, this one, your blocking arm at the same time, comes forward from out to in and across and blocks like that. And that's why it's called an outside to inside middle block. And so, just to show again, and you're blocking with this part of your arm. Don't block with this, it's going to hurt, but you want to block around here. And like I said, when you block, that's when you tense up, right? At the moment of the block, you tense up. Let's see if I can show you from a different angle. So there's this. Do you really need to see it from a different angle? I don't know if you need to see it from a different angle. It's hard to see that. This is probably the best. And then when you block, so you block, and remember to twist, the twisting motion of your arm, right? So you end up like there, about there. So what we're aiming for is this arm here, this angle here is about 90 degrees, and you want about maybe 1.5 fists away from your body, and you want this kind of leveled with your shoulder. So when you have that, I can show you. That's the arm, that's the blocking arm. You can see it's about 90 here. This is about level with my shoulder. This is about 1.5 fists apart from my body. Yeah, and you got your fists over here at your hip. And now, some people, when they bring their fists back, for some reason their elbow sticks out, don't do that. You want to go straight back like this. Keep your elbow in. Don't leave your elbow out. Keep your elbow in. Okay, so that's your middle block. And now the other side, I'll show you the other side as well. Relax. Sorry, my eye was just a bit itchy. Impulse control is not very good for martial artists. I should have more discipline. But then again, I did say it's been a while since I've been in training. And I was actually formally taught in Taekwondo. So this is the left arm middle block I showed you. Now to do the right one, we'll just switch this. So we're gonna do this same time. Pretty easy, right? The new method has me doing this. But I'm gonna do this, okay? And at the same time, you move your left arm and your right arm. So left arm goes to the hip, this comes out for the block. And again, you want about 90 degrees here, you want about 1.5 here, you want this leveled with your shoulder. And that's your standard middle block. And when we practice all our techniques, try to be consistent, because that builds your muscle memory and helps you remember exactly where things are supposed to be. And obviously in practice, you can block slightly differently depending on where an attack is coming from. You can block that way, you can block there, right? I haven't showed you yet in this video, but in the stream, but you know, a high block is generally there, but you can also block like that or like that if you need to. Okay, so back to our middle blocks, our outside to inside middle blocks. We are gonna go into our little junbi stance, and actually I'm gonna move this mouse cursor because it's in the middle of my video. It's looking at it straight in the middle of my thing. There we go. Alright, that's better. It's a little less distracting for me. So, back to our Taekwondo Junbi stance. And we're going to do 10 middle blocks. So, let's just start with this one. Okay? And now we can start with the right arm and we'll count. We're going to do alternating and we're going to do 10 middle blocks. So, hana, two, set, net, dasa, yasa, ilga, yura, ahop, and yo. And that's 10. And Junbi. I did both of these blocks fairly slowly so people can see what's going on. As you progress and get better at them, you can try to do them faster if you want. Slower is also good. Turns it into more of a, is it isometric we said? An isometric exercise where, you know, you're working on the muscle strength part, right? So, but you can try to do them faster. I mean, generally like that or like that. And remember, you're always coming back to the hips. And so, low block, out to inside middle block. And last time I introduced the high block to everyone. So high block in Taekwondo, you know, blocking things coming from, generally you're blocking something coming from that direction, but you can kind of block something that's coming from like this direction, so like that. And in that case, it's kind of like a mid-high block or something. But the basic middle block, so back to Junbi, I'm going to show you our basic middle block again. Let's see. So first we are going to block with our left arm, our blocking arm. This is our non-blocking arm. Non-blocking arm comes up like this. Actually more like that. Comes up like that. Blocking arm comes like this. So we're basically making a cross in front of us. You can do it this way too, but I think I prefer the blocking arm to be palm facing me. And the non-blocking arm is kind of like, yeah, palm facing out, right? So our non-blocking arm, like I said, always goes to the hip, while at the same time our blocking arm does the actual motion. So for the not high middle block, for the high block, our blocking arm, which is this, it comes up like that. So at the same time, just concentrate on my blocking arm, comes up like that. And this, for some reason, has always felt like a natural motion to me. I don't know why. And actually, somebody else commented that they felt like the higher the blocks went, the more natural it felt. So again, so from here, like that. And again, stay loose and relaxed throughout the motion until the moment you do the block, till the moment of impact, really. So here's our high block, right? And now we want not too close to the head. If it's too close to the head and you're trying to block something, the impact, you could accidentally hit yourself, and that's the same with every block. Not too close, because if you're blocking, the impact, you could hit yourself. Not really fun, and especially not for this one. Not really fun to hit yourself in the head. So with our block, we want some space between the head, maybe about a fist, and we also want it to be a bit forward. So maybe you can see, actually maybe you can see better this way. You want it to be slightly above my head, and slightly forward, right? That's what you want for your high block. And this arm is again probably like a 90 degrees, but technically when you do a double high block like this, it's a diamond. So kind of think of a half diamond shape here. So you got a half diamond shape here with your head in the middle. And that's your high block. So there's your high block on the left. And now to do the high block, to alternate and do the high block on the right, We bring this one down, and this one up there. We make the cross again, right? And then we go and do our block. So, and once again, it's like this. It's like this. Actually, this should be facing out, and this one should be facing in realistically, if you want to get the twisting motions in. Never was really taught that, but when I think about it, that's probably a little better. You get the twisting motions for both arms. Okay, so back to our little junbi, back to our Taekwondo junbi ready stance, and we'll practice 10 of those high blocks, and we're going to alternate. So let's just go into this position first, right? And we're going to start with the right hand. So, block, hana, 2, set, net, dasa, yosa, ilgop, yuro, ahop, and yo. And back to junbi and relax. So, we got low block, the basic middle block, which is one of the more common blocks, is the outside low block, middle block, and high block. So low block, out to inside middle block, and the high block. Those are 3 basic blocks in Taekwondo so far. And again, I did them fairly slowly so that people can see what the blocks look like, and you can try to keep pace. You can also do them faster. If you're more advanced in Taekwondo, do them at your own pace. I have no problems with that. You know, advanced color belts, do them at your own pace as long as you're doing the technique properly. Remember, make sure your technique is proper. No sloppy techniques. Remember, bring your fists to your hips, and you know, black belts, go for it, full speed. Whatever you feel like. Beginners, yes, I'm doing this a little slower for the beginners to see. If it's still a little too fast, people can let me know, or you can just replay the VOD and watch it at a slower pace. That is the beauty of recording this. The other thing about these blocks, you can always do these blocks with an open hand. That's the only difference. Closed hand, open hand. So if you want to do open hand, just keep it open at the beginning and do that. You don't need both hands open. You know, in fact, that would be awkward to do that. I tend to use a fist there. So you can do both hands open. You can use, one hand open, the blocking hand open if you want, or not. It's up to you. Wait, hold on, I'm closing them for some reason. I'm being silly because I'm closing it, right? And then this one, open hand as well, you can do that. Now middle block, if you want to do middle block open hand, just do this, open it, come, and you want to come, and somebody once told me they thought it was like serving pizza. Here's your pizza. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys a new middle block now, and this one will be, this one's a little awkward. I don't know why I feel like this one. Okay, so I'm going to show you, this is inside to outside, but there's 2 different ones for inside to outside middle block. So I'm going to show you this middle block. Try to remember if they call this one reverse inside to outside middle block. Yeah, because your palm is out. Let's call it palm out, inside to outside middle block. Okay, to make that distinction. So the palm out, inside to outside middle block, kind of starts the same way as the high block. So kind of starts the same way as that. So your blocking arm is on the outside, this non-blocking arm is on the inside again, this one will go back to your hip. Your blocking arm though, this time, so just put that there for now. Your blocking arm this time, you start with palm facing you, and you move outwards like that. Just outwards. Just outwards. And so you're blocking something coming from this direction, and you're blocking it. And so when we turn our palm outwards so that you're blocking with this part of your arm, and like the same thing with this, it's the same blocking surface. You're blocking with this, and then this way you're blocking with that. So block, and then this way, so from this way, that's your block right there. And again, 90 degrees here pretty much. Keep this kind of pretty much level with the shoulder. This is level with the shoulder. And because we're going from in to out, you are going to end up probably a little off the line. This one, you end up pretty much, try to stop it here. You end up here. But obviously in practice, you could go right across if you need to. But in training, we end here with this middle block. And this middle block, we end about there. Just slightly out. No problems with that. You don't want to go too far out because it can leave you open. But again, in real life situations, that can vary. So, outside, inside, middle block. And on the other side, the other arm, outside, inside, middle block, right? I almost did the other one. So from here, something is going weird. What's going weird with me? Like that. Yeah, something's going weird. Why am I doing that? That's weird. It should be like this. More like this. More like this. That might be a little high. But again, like I said, you can't actually do a block like that. So this is your middle block on the right side here. And let's just show the so this is about 90 still, and this is out. Turn it out a bit more. You want to have the palm facing straight. And there's that. Right? There's some space here, but it's all right. Okay, so we're going to practice 10 of these. So Junbi stands. Let's just start from here, and we're going to practice 10, starting with the right arm. Okay? So when we start with the right arm, we have to come back into our cross to begin with, right? And do that. Okay, that's Hana. 2. Set. Net. Dasa. Yasa. Ilga. Yura. Ahop. And Yo. Okay, so that's your palm out, inside to outside, middle block. All right, take a quick break. No one's really chatty. Feel free to ask me any questions in chat if you have any questions, if you have any concerns. If you want me to go at a slower pace, we can try to do that. But I will be trying to take breaks in between each of the different exercises, so if people are going at a slower pace than me, they can catch up. Well, so, I think we need to show you some punching. Again, we can review our punches. So a nice little drill that's actually really good for strengthening the legs at the same time as we do our punches is just this little punching drill, and we go into what we call a horse stance position, which is about, I'm going to start over here because I need to be centered, which is about 2 shoulder widths apart. So we're going to step over there, so 2 shoulder widths apart. Keep your knees, bend your knees, but remember to keep your knees over your toes, right? And don't drop your knees inwards. It's pretty bad for this. We want to stay really good centered alignment here. So hold on a second. My knee's bugging me today. So 2 shoulder widths apart. Try to keep your toes pointing forward. Okay, I know a lot of people have some strange alignment. Some people's feet point outwards more. Some people point them inwards more. That can potentially cause problems later on, like because you will strengthen one side of your leg muscles more than another. It's always better to have your feet, your toes pointing straight forward. That's center and neutral. And then, so for the horse stance position, which is called jejum sogi in Korean, bend the knees, keep your knees over the toes. Try not to put your knees inwards. Keep them out, push them out a little bit. If you find you're dipping your knees towards the center, try to push them out a bit. Keep your knees like that. So that's our horse stance position. So normally we'd go from like a junbi position, and then when we go in a horse stance position, we cross our arms and bring our both fists to our hips. So we go to jejum sogi, horse stance position here. Now I can teach you some punching. So standard punching, this drill for standard punching helps you build more power for your punches, because we are doing a full length for the punch rather than like the sparring punching, which is just, this kind of punching, really short. We're not doing all the way. But when you do a drill that practices the full motion, the full range of motion, it builds more power eventually over a period of time, so that these little punches will be more powerful in the long term. So back to our jejum sogi, horse stance. Cross your arms, bring your fists to your hips. Now, I want you to bring the left fist out for now. And I have not explained the fist properly. I have explained it in previous streams. I haven't explained it this stream. Proper fist. Open your hands like this, palm out. Right? Palms out. Then just curl your fingers and then put your thumb here. You see where my thumb is? You see where my thumb is? Tuck your thumb and make sure it's not like this. Tuck your thumb. Tuck your thumb. And you want to keep it tight. And now your thumb is there to help tighten and keep your fist fairly firm. So same thing with this one. So you notice that. And punching, when we're punching, make contact with these two knuckles when we're punching. Not these, these. And we are going to keep a very straight arm, and the power goes straight along this line. Energy, when you punch, will go straight down this line. And we hit with these two knuckles. So same with this side. Just curl and put your fists there. I know my nails are a little long today, they shouldn't be. And again, you punch with these two and try to keep it level. Also, for the punches, you want to try and keep your wrist straight like this. Don't pull your wrist up. Don't put it too far down. You want it about there. Hi, Damien. I think Nate needs a keyboard with him, like silent keys. Hi, Nate. Please ignore the typing. He's got to work. Hey, Rachel, how's it going? Okay, so we are gonna do our punching drill. Hi, Rachel, how's it going? I have MX cherry keys, I guess. Wait, what? What's cherry keys?
It's the type of switch for the keys.
Oh, is that actually what you have?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He bought this keyboard and thought maybe it would be silent, but it's actually just a very sturdy keyboard.
No, I thought it would be quieter than the other one, which it is, but it's still noisy.
Oh, quieter than that cheap keyboard you had? I think, honestly, everyone... Oh, wait, my mic is... I think, honestly, he just types pretty hard. Every single laptop he's ever had, the keys have been kind of like wiped off a little bit. I don't know. And your fingers are funny too. You always curl your fingers. I think that might be also another reason why it sounds harder. is I type like this. I type like this. But Nate's fingers naturally curl like this, so when he types, it's like this. His fingers curl like this, so when he types, it's like this. No, I type like this. It's kind of. You just finished uni for the day? Yeah, I figured you had some classes. I had a cheap HP keyboard something. I had the same issue with streaming. I got myself a keyboard with silent MX cherry keys. So you're not to blame, Nate. It's the keyboard. But he likes his keyboard. I think it could also be where the mic was pointing a bit. The mic is pointing to me! Right here!
Okay.
It's just it's just you. You type really loudly all the time. It's alright. Just ignore it. We are going to do some punches now, and welcome to the stream. I know you've been by before, Damien, and you speak Dutch, don't you? Je spreekt Nederlands, toch? Hoe gaat het met je vandaag? I think it could also be, but yeah, I like the keyboard apart from the noise. No, I don't, huh? Of course I do. Ga goed. Alright, so we're gonna just do some punches. Just some punching drills. Just some basic punching drills, and I'm teaching everyone how to punch again. So we're here. Want your left arm out, and so just put your left arm out like this, and with your fist, like you actually punch something. And when we punch, we aim for the middle part. So this part's called the solar plexus. You know, a little soft part in the middle of your body. You know, sometimes if you have cats, sometimes cats will jump on you and land right there. It makes you say oof. So we're gonna put our punches in. And funny enough, this is kind of high. This is kind of shoulder height. This is my solar plexus. So kind of always aim your punch for your solar plexus. Just think of a mirror. So when we punch, just think of a pulley action, and we're gonna pull the punching arm back to the hip, and the other arm that's already at the hip is gonna come out for the punch. And we're gonna do pulley action, and we twist the arm at the same time like this. And you can make a s sound. So it's like so that's your basic punch. I can do them slowly. Actually, we do make students do punches slowly, so that they get used to the motion at first. We can do 10 slowly and then 10 fast. So let's do that. So we're gonna go back to your little horse stance. Remember, for this stance, you gotta sit. This is not a proper horse stance. This is not a proper horse stance. You gotta sit, okay? And this does build your quad muscles, okay? Yes, it does. You'll get used to it over a period of time if you're not already used to it. Okay, so left fist out. We're gonna do 10 slow punches actually. So I will count at the end of the punch. You can make a hissing sound if you want, but the point is to breathe slowly throughout the punch. Hana. 2. Set. Net. Dasa. Yosa. Ilgo. Yoro. Aho. And Yul. And now, 10, we'll pick up the pace. Just do some 10 fast punches as fast as you can without like ignoring your technique. So we want to make sure you do the full length of the punch. Okay, so we're going to do 10. I'm going to do it at a moderate pace, and I will count at the end of each punch. And here we go. I'm going to start. Hana, 2, set, net, dasa, yosa, ilgo, yoro, aho, yo. And junbi. And like I said earlier, if you're advanced in Taekwondo, if you're a black belt, you can go at your own pace. Beginners can go a little slower if they want, or need to. If you need me to go slower, you can always tell me in chat. Okay, just a short break. I'm gonna do like short pauses in between exercises, so if people are actually doing the exercises slower, they can catch up. So that's our basic punching drill. You can always try to practice these on your own at home. Just practice until you get better and faster at them without sacrificing your technique. Now we will do a little bit of sparring style punches. Let's do a little bit of those just for fun, and we're gonna do the reverse punch. And I did show you some other punches last time. I showed you how to do a jab. So this is the reverse punch. This is the jab. The front arm is a jab. I did show you, I showed you the uppercut with the front arm, like that. I guess you can technically do an uppercut with the reverse one. But I don't know, I prefer an uppercut with the front one. Don't ask me why. So we can do 10 punches this way. So this is our Taekwondo fighting stance, okay? Taekwondo fighting stance. We got our feet. Ready stance, Taekwondo. Fighting stance. Bring this foot back to about there. Not too far. So it's basically still about shoulder width apart, but we bring it back and that's about shoulder width apart too. Like this is shoulder width apart, this is about shoulder width apart. So it's like practically 45 degrees. You can do this sometimes in sparring if you really want, but that is situational because when you do this, you're putting your whole body facing that way and it's harder to turn into a technique when you're sparring. This always seems to be the best in terms, and you also, for sparring purposes, you don't want to be like this. You're giving your opponent an easy target in Taekwondo sparring. It's pretty easy to hit the body this way. Harder to hit the body this way. Like I said, but again, this makes it harder for you to actually counter-attack. And I won't say attack, counter-attack. Martial arts should be used for defensive purposes. So, yes, this is a striking martial arts, but you can still learn these things and keep in mind that you use things for the purpose of defending yourself, not for the purpose of attacking others. Like, no bullying, please. Okay, so our Taekwondo sparring stance is like this. And pull your arms back and then bring them forward into your fists. Pull your arms back. You can leave open hand back like this. This one's palm down, this one's palm up. Then when you bring them forward into a fist, right? So our fighting stance is about like this. And you can see the arms. This arm is kind of like guarding, maybe not too close to the body like I was just doing, about there. See if you can see that. So right there, that's your guard arm. And the front arm is like this. So about the same, pretty much like the same as the block I just showed you, like that. So, like that. So there's 90 degrees here. This is about 1.5 fists out from your body. This is about shoulder width. So that is our fighting stance. Okay. So to do punches with this, we're going to do 10 reverse punches, which means we're hitting with this arm. Hey Tony, how's it going? Sorry I'm late. I'm going to try a little bit of this today. Alright Tony, feel free to jump in whenever. Remember, hopefully you're warmed up at least. So just, we're going to do some sparring punching. So reverse punch. So when we punch, okay, remember what I showed you with the horse stance punches? We twist into it. But here with the sparring style punching, when you're punching like it's not fighting, when you're sparring and punching like this, you're gonna twist in. So your whole body will turn in with the punch. So you see that my punching arm now has a line with my shoulder. So if you want to get full power in your punch, you gotta turn into it. that's a full powered punch. And so you'll see, and then if you look at my body as well, when I do this, if you look at my body, I've turned my hips. You just turned my hips into it, like that. And the front leg can be on the ground. You can keep it loose, but the back leg, you have to get your heel off the ground for that, right? So heel off the ground, right there. Right there, you can see my heel is off the ground, turned right into the punch. You don't want to overturn either. If you overturn, then it's hard for you to get back to this position. So that's your reverse punch. You can do 10 each arm, and then on the other side, so we switch, other side, same thing. You want to do that punch and you want to turn, right? This arm here, you can put it back to your hip if you want, or you can just leave it kind of like floating, because with sparring, a lot of things can happen. You can also do that actually with sparring. Actually, you can. I would recommend this for this kind of style of punching. Okay, keep this non-punching arm about there. So this is your fighting stance. Why do we call it a fighting stance? I don't call it a sparring stance. Let's call it sparring stance. This is your sparring stance, right? And then when we punch, you want to go there, like that. So in the front leg, knee bends, of course. So again, front leg, knee bends, back leg, heel off the ground. Okay, so let's do 10. Yes, you can just punch like this if you want. That's pretty lazy. So let's do 10. We're gonna do 10. Go hana, 2, set, and I am putting it back there for some reason. Net, dasa, yasa, ilga, yura, aho, and yo. And now we're gonna switch. So to explain the switching in Taekwondo, it's a little bit of footwork, Joe. You want to be pretty loose. Generally, you kind of want to just jump a little bit off the ground and just switch your feet. And you're going to pull these arms back when you do it. So, like that. And I jumped too high. I know I jumped too high. Okay, so from this side, we're going to do 10 reverse punches again. And we're going to try and do the full power reverse punch, everyone. So guys ready? Hope you guys are ready. So we're going to go hana, 2, set, net, dasa, yasa, ilga, yura, aho, and yo. Okay, and Junbi, I'm gonna take a look at chat, let everyone catch up if you did it slower. And of course, I did that fairly slow, and you can do them faster. You can work on these at home, try to get into a faster pace. But I'm a little out of practice too. It's been some years since I was actually in training. So I'm gonna take a quick water break. And if anybody has any questions, you can ask in chat. Hey Rachel, sorry I'm joining in now. I just filled out a form for a what? An antibody test. Wait, why are you doing that?
Yes.
Huh?
Quick suggestion.
Huh?
Do 1 or 2 crossways as well, so people can see what it looks like from the side.
Oh yeah, that's true. I will. I'm taking a quick break though. But good suggestion.
Huh?
Good suggestion.
Okay.
You can type it in chat. But it's alright. Nate was just talking to you. You got invited to an antibody test? Is it like a research thing? Do you ever use, what do you mean, weights while I do Taekwondo, or just weight training in general? Yes, but which way do you want me to turn, Nate? Or maybe an angle?
I think the punching arm should be closer to the screen. That's all, so they can see what it looks like from the side. So go across, like, to the wall. Yeah, like
No,
that.
wrong one. It's this punching arm. You want me to punch this way?
Yeah, like,
Nate wants me to punch this way for some reason.
yeah, I just think it helps to see from the side as well. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because the alignment and the way that your back foot and everything turns is less visible when it's straight.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, you want them to see the back leg?
Yeah, and the alignment of the arm and elbow
Yeah.
and shoulder.
Yes, I do some weight training. I do strength training. I do strength training, Tony. I've actually always been interested in strength training, even when I was in high school. I was probably the only girl that used to go into the weight room in high school and do a little bit of weight training. And unfortunately, when I was in university, I didn't have a lot of time for exercise. And I went back to, when I started doing Taekwondo, yeah, I did do weight training there as well. And then I hurt my knee at some point, and I was like, okay, yes, I really do need to do more weight training. So I try to do it on a regular basis. You can probably see behind me, right there behind me, there's actually some weights behind me. There's some free weights there. Yes, so I do a little bit of weight training just to keep up some basic strength. And yes, good question. I was going to get around to that. I do recommend some basic strength training for people when they do martial arts, because if your muscles are not strong enough for martial arts, especially a striking martial art where there's a lot of impact, your joints could get hurt. So we're talking about ligaments here. If you know anything about anatomy, your muscles are flexible. Your muscles are the tissue in your body that can stretch. Because the muscles basically tear and heal themselves when they get stretched. And that happens with weight training as well. Your muscles will I guess, I'm trying to remember, Nate, when you stretch your muscles, do they actually tear, or is it the weight training that tears your muscles?
Both, I think.
Both. I think it's both. But ligaments, okay, the muscles in your body don't hold your joints together. It's hard to explain. The muscles don't hold the joints together necessarily, but ligaments are basically things that hold your joints together, like bone to bone. So, like for example, in your knee, you have ligaments inside your knee, and they hold the two bones in your leg together from here to there, and they help your joints move. And now ligaments are not flexible. They tear and they break. They will not heal themselves. So if you don't have strong muscles for some of the martial arts, it's easier for you to hurt yourself and hurt your joints and hurt your ligaments. And trust me, it's not a fun process to go through. I mean, I think if I were to, comparatively, if you break a bone, it's probably way more painful to break a bone than it is to tear a ligament. But a bone would probably heal a lot faster than the ligaments when you have surgery for ligaments, and that's the only way you can fix any complete tears in a ligament is surgery. So it's not a good thing. So yes, I do recommend that people do with martial arts. I cross train in martial arts. I kind of always have, and the martial arts training I've had always included cross training. So it was included running and cardio. Taekwondo is very anaerobic by nature of its exercise. It's very anaerobic. Stop, go, stop, go, stop, go. Even Taekwondo sparring is very much stop, go. The only real endurance is trying to stay on your feet for that long. And so I do recommend cross training. Running, I recommend running. I recommend skipping. Skipping is also quite essential actually for Taekwondo, especially if you want to get better, because you often, especially for Taekwondo sparring, if you're interested in sparring and becoming a competitor in Taekwondo, you need to do this a lot, and skipping definitely helps you build up your calf muscles. I need to work on my flexibility, but yes, I do also cross train with the weights and do some weight training, Tony. Unfortunately, I don't have a gym here, and because of Corona times, I can't go to the gym, so there are certain exercises I can't do. Oh, it's sad. We need to work on flexibility. Flexibility, we will actually probably work on some flexibility at the end of the stream. So Nate was suggesting I do those punches sideways so you can see my back leg. So I'll just do this slowly so that you guys can see it. Do you want me to do actually 10 more punches this way, or do you want me just to...
I think just 1 or 2 is fine.
So again, when you're doing the sparring stance and we do the reverse punch, right? You want to do that. So I'm in my sparring stance, and then when I punch my hip, I turn my hip not too far over, but just enough, and you want to punch, and you want to do that. And you don't actually want to lean in. I think I was leaning in a bit. You want to do that. Okay? That's what you should look like when you're done at the end of your punch. You don't want to lean in. Okay? And you don't actually want to throw everything. The reason you want to lean in because it's harder to get back to your neutral position, and it's also bad to be off balance in any martial art. The minute you're off balance, that leaves you more susceptible to counterattacks or an attack. And if people actually know really truly defensive martial arts like Aikido, an Aikido person will immediately, somebody who's really good in Aikido, who's trained in Aikido and really good at Aikido, will take advantage of your imbalance. The minute you're off balance, they will take advantage of it. I have been doing workouts at home too. I'm serious about my face. That's good, Tony. Let me know what exercises you've been doing. I have some. I always have to refresh. There's so many different exercises out there that I have to refresh my memory about what to do, and there are actually some good balance exercises as well. So from the other side, Nate wants me to show this punch from the other side. So this punch, again, so you want to see, so you don't want to lean too far forward. You want to just turn into it. Hold on, can't see that. There you go. So you want to turn into it again. So the legs, I guess this one can be like that, it's fine. So you got a lot of weight here already, right? And this back leg is up like this. I might be actually a little too long. So you want to be like that for your punch. Okay, anything else? We did blocks, we did some punches, we should do some kicks. Let's do some front kicks. And so we're going back into our ready stance, Jujun. No, not Jujun. Junbi stance. Actually, it's technically Junbi Sogi. And it's called ready stance in English. So we're going to go back in this, and we're going to do some kicks. And let's review our front snap kick. Okay, so let's go into this little sparring stance again. And we are going to kick with the back leg. So this is my right leg, everyone. So we're going to kick with the back leg. So in this stance, for the front kick, let's call it a front kick. Sometimes called a front snap kick. In Korean, it's called, I believe in Korean, if I remember my Korean terminology correctly, it's up, chagi. Up meaning front and chagi meaning kick. So for this kick, we bring our knee up. Bring the knee up like this. Keep your knee bent. Bring the knee up. The arm goes down at the same time. So we're going to go, and then you extend for the kick, and bend back and step down. So again, extend, down, step down. Do not drop your leg. Don't drop your leg. Ever watch basketball and watch a basketball player jump and land on their heel with a straight leg and hurt their knee? Don't do that. Yes, that also might necessitate knee surgery. Okay, let's just put it that way. I have torn my ACL in the past. I had it fixed. I had an ACL. I had ACL surgery. I had it fixed. ACL is the anterior cruciate ligaments in your knee, and it's one of the other it's one of two ligaments that help stabilizes your knee inside, so that your knee doesn't go wobbling all over the place when you stand and walk and jump. ACL tears are common in football, soccer in North America. They are common, probably also in American football, and they are pretty common with basketball players, I believe, and also skiers. When I was in physio, no lie, but there was another girl in the physio room, and she was talking to her physiotherapist. She was having a double ACL surgery. She was scheduled for a double ACL surgery because she tore out both of her ACL skiing, and all she was thinking about was trying to go skiing again next season. And I was thinking, it's going to take a little longer for two things to heal up. So yeah, you don't land like that. So all the techniques in Taekwondo, all the kicking techniques in Taekwondo that require you to extend, you bend your leg back and put down. So, and on the other side, same like this. Moving up, extend, and back down. Do I need to do this one from the side too, Nate? Maybe. I'll do these from the side too, so they can see the kicks. Hold on. So again, right? You want to bend? You want to do that. That's what you want to do with your kicks. And down. That's what you want to do with your kicks, everyone. So this basic up-juggy front kick. Yes, I know the box was there. Okay, so from here, let's do 10 kicks and 10 kicks. And we might not have enough time to get through everything that I taught previously. So let's do 10 front kicks with this leg, and then we will switch and do 10 front kicks with this one, and we will do it fairly relaxed and easy. So for every block, strike, kick in Taekwondo, stay relaxed, keep your body relaxed until the moment of impact. So with the kick, it will be when you actually hit your target. That's when you want to tense up your contacting surface. Now with this kick too, there's two ways to kick. Sorry, I should demonstrate this again for everyone who hasn't seen this. You can kick. When you kick kicking pads, we usually hit it like this. But if you're gonna hit somebody like this, we tend to kick like that with the balls of the feet. But a lot of times we will do kicking drills like that. So there are two ways to practice this kick. You can have your toes pointed forward, or you can have your toes pulled back. Take your pick. Okay, so we're gonna do 10 front kicks. I'm probably gonna point my toes. Okay. Hana. So we want to stay light on our feet. 2. Set. Net. Dasa. Yasa. Ilga. Yura. Aha. And yo. And back. And we're gonna switch. I just bought a door-mounted pull-up bar. Oh, you did? I'm always worried about those things, like they're gonna tear out our... I should really get one of those. But I suck at pull-ups right now, Tony. I don't even want to think about how bad my pull-ups are. I'm gonna need Nate to hold me to get to the pull-up bar first right now. And it's gonna be so bad. Okay, other leg. We're gonna do 10 front kicks with the other leg. 10 up-chuggy kick, up-chuggy. Okay, ready? Hana. 2. Set. Net. Dasa. Yasa. Ilga. Yura. Aha. And yo. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break from that. Let everyone catch up. And again, advanced Taekwondo people can do this at their own pace. Now also with these kicks, You can also get your body into the kicks. It's kind of, I feel like with the front kick, it's harder to get your hip into the kick, but you can try to get your hip into the kick. I think maybe my hips are a little tight right now. That's why it's not doing it very well. So that was some front kicks. Last time I showed you an axe kick as well. Should we do axe kicks? Axe kicks and crescent kicks. So the axe kick last time I showed you, and I'm looking at the time and it's like an hour and 15 minutes. I got 15 minutes left of this. So that's a crescent kick. That's a in to outside crescent kick. Out to in crescent kick is this. So you can practice those as well. But the axe kick, you come up and hold down for an axe kick. So that's why it's called an axe kick, because if you think how an axe works, you pull it up and you put all the power on the way down. So when you do an axe kick, that's the same thing. You pull up as high as you can. Yes, you need flexibility, and pull down. And to pull down, to get the power down, you're kind of using, I don't know which muscle it is that I'm using. Somewhere here is like this whole muscle group, I think, gets activated when you're pulling down for the axe kick. I don't know if you need to see it from this direction. Yeah, I don't know. And then the crescent kicks. Crescent kicks are hard to see from the side though, Nate.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, they're better from the front.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and then the other side, so axe kick with this one. Same thing. You want to go up as fast as you can and pull down as hard as you can. Like that. And that is a kick that's often used in sparring. You'll see that happen in sparring. Ooh, kind of pulled something here. Okay, it's an old thing. And down. And then crescent kick, in to out, right? And then out to in crescent kick. Like that. Alright, I think I ran out of time to do more kicks today. I'm so sorry, but let's actually do some stretching. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm a little stiff, even though I've been doing some Taekwondo again every week. So let's try some stretches. So for Taekwondo, at the beginning of Taekwondo, for the warm-ups, I like to start with the head and go down. So we start with the neck and go down to warm up. For stretching, I like to do the opposite. Let's stretch out our legs first. We're going to stretch up our, I don't think we need to stretch out this part, do we? Might need to stretch out your toes too. Believe me, you can stretch out your toes. So let me see if I find some room. Like, how do we stretch out our toes, really? They just feel stiff. My toes feel stiff, everyone. The other thing is you need to be able to do this with your toe in Taekwondo. So you wanna be able to pull your toes back. Okay, so anyways, Taekwondo, let's do some stretching. Can you see me? Can everyone see me okay? So we're gonna stretch our hamstrings, which are always pretty tight for me for some reason. So hamstring stretch, we're stretching these muscles in the back here, and your hamstrings is actually a big muscle group because they actually go into your glutes, they go into your butt muscles, right? And they actually end, your hamstrings actually end below the knee. It's a big muscle group, and that's why it's pretty hard to stretch them out. So we are gonna go do this, sit on the ground, try to keep your back straight, and go forward. And I'm actually pretty bad at this right now. So you want to keep your back straight as possible and go forward for your hamstring stretch. And you should feel a stretch. Well, I guess it depends how bad your hamstrings are. I just generally feel a stretch in the lower part. Just below my knee is where I feel the hamstring stretch, and around the knee area, around the back of the knee, is where I feel my hamstring stretch. And so for this, to properly stretch out your hamstrings too, you want to pull your toes back because Actually, no. Does that even help with your hamstring, Nate? Pulling your toes back? Not really. Helps with the calves, though. Yeah. So you can stretch out your calf muscles while you do this hamstring stretch by pulling your toes back as well. So you can do that. I know gymnasts often do a hamstring stretch and do this, point their toes back. I think pulling it back helps a lot. So let's try and hold 10 seconds. I'm pretty bad at this right now too. I used to be better.
Tony wanted to know if the stretching should be first.
Stretching before? I don't recommend stretching unless you are actually warmed up. Your muscles should be warm for any intense stretching. The only stretching drill I recommend at the beginning of Taekwondo is what I call a stretch kick. It's called a stretch kick. It's not what I call it. It's called a stretch kick, which is basically like the axe kick. You lift your leg straight up in the air and then drop it. But when we do stretch kick in Taekwondo, it's strictly just to warm up the body. So you're not trying to stretch with the purpose of gaining flexibility. If your purpose of stretching is to improve your flexibility, I do recommend doing it when your muscles are warm. I think you're more likely to tear your muscles if your muscles are cold before doing these stretches. Yeah, I personally, that's the one thing I disagree with a lot of trainers and stuff. I don't think stretching should be done at the beginning of an exercise unless you're warm. I mean, sometimes you could still be just extremely tight and stiff at the beginning, so you can do light stretching just to like loosen yourself up, but not for the purposes of gaining flexibility. So I'm still trying to break through this stretch.
He says he typically does brief warm-up, stretch, and workout.
Brief warm-ups. Yeah, as long as you're not trying to increase your flexibility at the beginning, I think it's fine as long as you're not trying to increase your flexibility. But if you are concentrating on improving your flexibility, definitely after you're warm. I think warm-up exercises are more important at the beginning. Okay. But yes, if you are maybe a little tight at the beginning, you can always do light stretching, which like I said is not for the purposes of increasing flexibility, but for the purposes of just making sure your muscles aren't stiff to begin with. So it just really depends on your body, what state your muscles are in at the time. So that was our hamstring stretch. Now I'm going to do what we call a butterfly stretch, which is also, people might also recognize this as a lotus position from yoga, as a butterfly stretch, because if you're not as flexible as this, so you put your feet together, put your knees to the ground, if you're not as flexible, you can shake your knees. Actually, I will check up on the chat, because I can see it. I typically do brief warm-up stretch and then workout. Yeah, that's fine as long as you're not trying to. Yeah, like I said, if you're trying to increase your flexibility, it's better when you're warm because you're more likely to tear something. If you are stiff before exercise, sure, stretch out a little bit just to loosen up the muscles, but not with the purpose of trying to increase your flexibility. I used to come home from Taekwondo class, have a hot bath, and do some stretches before bed because I was trying to improve my splits and my stretching, and I only did that when my body was warm. Whenever I'm trying to get better at the flexibility, it's better to do when I'm warm. I highly recommend that. I do worry people might hurt themselves trying to increase their flexibility. And often that's probably why people find increasing their flexibility is a hard thing to do. So, now that we're warm, do this, sit down. And for some reason, I'm a lot better at this than I am with the hamstrings right now. But this is really about stretching the inner thighs here. So we stretch the inner thighs. If you feel like it's a little tight, like I said, you can gently, don't force your legs, don't force the muscles. Gently, you can gently shake your knees. The other thing you can do, if this is a little tight here, you feel a stretch inside here, you can just gently pound on your muscles. Stay relaxed. Gently pound on the muscles to try and loosen them up. You can do that too. Now with this butterfly stretch, you're going to try and go forward. You're going to try and go forward, you know, at the hips and the back. You're going to try and keep your back straight. You're going to go forward like that. And just do that. I think the other danger, what I was reading about, the other danger of stretching before something like Taekwondo is because Taekwondo, the kind of exercises you're doing in Taekwondo, if you stretch before Taekwondo, like with the purpose of trying to improve your flexibility, your muscles will be, it's kind of contradictory because in Taekwondo your muscles will need to contract for the like I said, your muscles are relaxed, but you tighten up at the moment of impact in a martial arts when you're using striking techniques or blocking techniques, so that when you stretch too much at the beginning with the aim of increasing your flexibility, your muscles will be too stretched and they won't want to tighten up for the techniques. So, and because then you're going to be doing that where your muscles will tense up during Taekwondo drills, and then after that, then they're going to be tense. So it's better to do stretches afterwards. But I guess it also depends on what kind of exercises you're doing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing some warm-ups and going straight into stretching exercises, right? It's just, I find with Taekwondo it's completely different. It's a different, I think with most martial arts, it's a different area. So when you're doing the butterfly stretch and you lean forward a little bit, and I used to be really good at this actually. Actually, Nate used to lie on top of me while I did this. Remember, Nate?
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. And now, because my splits are pretty bad right now, side splits, you want to work on side splits, you can start by working on sides. Ooh, cracked. Side splits. That was a nice crack. You can work on side splits like this, right? And gently go down. My floor is a little slippery. I don't like doing it this way here. Especially because I'm like, hey Mike, how's it going? No, you missed, yeah, I'm sorry Mike, you missed most of it. You can watch the VOD again. How was your day? How was school? We're just doing stretches right now. But my side splits are pretty bad right now. And if you're starting out with doing the side splits, this is what I'm going to recommend people do is try. You can find something to brace your foot, it's helpful. So for side splits, if you're bad at doing the full side splits, I'm going to do half split, right? With one leg bent in front and this leg out. And what we're going to do is concentrate on the muscle group up here that you need to stretch out for your splits. So in my case, I'm actually feeling a big stretch right in there for some reason for the side split, because it's been a while. So we're going to do that. And oftentimes I like to stretch both ways actually. So for the stretching, you kind of want to hold it. You kind of want to hold the stretch a bit. So there's that stretch right there. I actually really feel it. This is really bad. I used to be way more flexible. So, and then you can lean over your leg to try and stretch it out. The other way to lean, you can also do this, which also I find is really nice to stretch out your sides. But we're focusing on the leg here, so we're just concentrating on stretching the legs here. So there's this stretch here. If it's a little tight, like I said, you can kind of pound on it to like help it relax a little bit. Wait, Rachel, what? I should just grab my phone. No, actually the chat's not on my phone. I should have pulled out my Chromebook and put the chat on there next to me, it'd be easier to see. Sorry, Nate, can you read that to me?
Right.
Can you read that to me?
Rachel says, I sit like that on the floor.
You sit like this on the floor. It is pretty comfortable, isn't it? I mean, I used to study, like, the reason why this is so good for me is because I used to study this way. I used to put, like, either my notebook or my textbook on my legs, like, right here. Like, if I put my textbook here or my notebook there, or I put my notebook there or my... I put my textbook there and put my notebook here or something. But yeah, I have sadly not been sitting on the floor very much since I got here, except for in the bedroom. Problem is, we have this couch. I didn't really want to have a couch, actually. I wanted to just sit on the floor. So now we can switch to the other side. We can switch to the other side. Now, nothing to brace that foot this time. Sorry, excuse the dust. I think I forgot to, I think there's a dust bunny in here. Oops. We have a dust bunny. Okay, so do the other side and, oh, ouch. So that's a little tight for me too today for some reason. So we're gonna do our stretches for a little bit. So I always start, after Taekwondo, I start with the leg stretches. Now I should do my calf stretch too. That's easier to do because I don't need to be on the floor. Okay, so once you practice that, you can also try and just it's sad, I never really got to a full split, but I was getting really, really close. And now I'm back to maybe about 90 degrees apart, I think. Oh, yeah. I think also the thing is, when you do strength training, when you do weight training, strength training, when you build muscle, you are technically building up new muscle tissue. So your new muscle tissue will start out with a certain flexibility. So if you build new muscles and you're doing strength training, you'll need to try to stretch out those muscles so that your new muscles start out fairly flexible and loose. And I've been probably a little lax at that too. And yes, I do think stretching, trying to stretch out your muscles after you do weight training is also a good thing to do too. That's probably why it's best to do the flexibility, work on your flexibility after you do the Taekwondo, because it's almost like doing weight training in a way, because you are strengthening your muscles. So, why is this so painful, Nate? Is this how you felt?
Yes.
I used to be so good at this.
I know.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, front splits. Everyone know how to do front splits? People know how to do front splits. So front splits are this way, and you gotta do both legs as well. You wanna hold it like that. And try to make sure that this doesn't hyperextend. Damn. I'm really out of practice. Even this back one is not flexible. So that's your front split, which I need to work on somehow. And then switch and do the other leg as well. So you switch and put the other leg in front to do your front splits. And do that. And this floor makes it awkward. It really does, doesn't it?
It's too slippery.
It's very slippery. And using the exercise mat doesn't help for these. The other way to practice your, to stretch and practice stretching your front leg is, well, you kind of need a partner. So you could do this. You can find a wall to lean up against. And if you have a partner to help you, you can just get a partner, have them grab your leg, and push it right up. Nick, do you want to do that right now just to demonstrate what I mean?
No.
No? So if you get a partner, they grab your leg and push it up. That's the other way to practice the front ones. What other stretches? Okay, those are legs. Side stretches. Front front stretches, butterfly stretches, calf stretches. Calf stretches are really important too, and that's the one stretch I will try to do sometimes before doing exercise because my calves get tight really, really quickly. Traditional calf stretch, use the wall. I don't know if you guys can still hear me. Use the wall. You can bend your front leg, do your calf stretch, keep your back leg straight, bend the front leg like that. That's your calf stretch, and you should feel it in your calves. If you get more flexibility in your calves, go back more like that. My calves have been really tight lately, but they haven't cramped. That's the funny thing. And the other side for your calf. Other side for your calf. So there's your back one for your calf. Oh, I just remembered how to stretch out the quads, but you have to be careful to do it. There is a stretch you could do for your quad muscles, which I do not do because you could potentially pull the ligaments in your knee. A lot of people like to do this traditional quad one, this one, to stretch out their quads. You can do that. But make sure to do it in a way that you're not pulling the ligaments in your knee. Make sure it's only this thing that's getting stretched. And that's why I don't like that one too much, especially with this one. Yeah, I don't do it. I can't do it with that one. The other way to stretch out that quad, like I was doing with the front one, is just to pull it back this way, and you'll feel it there. Wow. I need to find more time to do my stretches. And then the other one for the quad, the other quad, right there. I can feel it actually. It's sad. Okay, we did that. Side stretches. Side stretches. Actually, there's a nice full body stretch that I like to do. So if we stand, feet together. Let's stand feet together, everyone. And we do this. Breathing actually helps you with your stretches too. So what I'm going to do is stand like this. Push up to the sky. Take a deep breath if you want. And now we're going to stretch the sides like this. And I actually really love this stretch. So you should feel your side stretching. Go back to the center and go the other side like that and stretch. Now, variation of this, I'm going to just turn the torso a bit and go over. And that will actually hit some other muscles that are harder to stretch out. So you're going to twist. So you're going to twist like this and then go over to the side. And that's hitting some of the muscles that actually get tensed when you're sitting at your table or your desk all day long. Back to neutral. And again, same thing. We're going to twist the torso and then go over. And stretch out our stomach area. You can go back. My stomach area is never really that tight. No. And last one, for our backs, we're just going to drop and go forward like this. Drop and go forward like this, just for the back area here. And just to loosen up the back muscles. And while you're down here, you can also, I almost forgot, you can also do a hamstring stretch this way while you're down here, like this. You can do the standing one, and actually, if you're careful enough, you can keep your feet flat and your knees straight. Don't hyperextend your knees. That can also cause problems as well. Okay, so that's our body stretch. Oh, I kind of feel like doing that other one again. I didn't do any weight training, but if you feel like your arms and shoulders are a little tight, you can do these. So I'm doing this, kind of like this, and just pulling across. If you feel like your arms are a little tight, pull across. There's so many that I can do, and we're going to an hour and 45 minutes today. And also this one is good for your arms as well. You do this. So pull your arm up like this, and you can see exactly. And then if you want to get crazy, you can do that. Just do that stretch. And that should be for stretching this arm. And then the other side again. The other side, I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see that? So you want to stretch this arm out if your arm is tight. And stretching this part. Stretching that. And then do this. Okay. That actually felt good. How are people's arms otherwise? Your biceps. Your biceps can get tight too, especially if you did some working out. Can you guys see me over here? Okay, so what we're gonna do to stretch out this muscle group in your arm, you can go here, go flat, and then you turn the other way to stretch out that. But be careful, you don't wanna pull, like I said, don't pull anything in your elbow, and don't pull anything in the joints area. You should only be feeling stretches and pulls in your muscles. And it's gonna be hard for me to do the other one, isn't it? Can I do the other one? Guess I can do it here, like that. Okay, that feels better actually, because I didn't actually stretch that out last week after I did some weight training. So, Nate, you have to remind me. I need to do warm-ups with the wrists at the beginning and the fingers, but as it is, they're kind of tense. So everyone, Rachel, you remember the flappy hands? Hold your arms like this. Keep them relaxed. Shake your wrists out. Everyone shake their wrists out. Flappy hands. Okay, yes, I do get how that guy does it, but it's kind of scary. The other thing you can do is this with your wrist. There was a drill I used to do. What's that drill I used to do? I used to do this really kind of weird drill. No, I can't remember now. I can't remember. There was a weird thing we used to do, and it was based off of martial arts principles, but you can kind of like twist around. I can't remember now. Actually, I'm not quite sure if this stretch works for people. Actually, it does. I almost forgot about it. So put your arms like this, put your hands together like this, or crossing, and then pull this way. Pull this way, and try to straighten your arms. Be careful, don't pull like I said, don't pull the ligaments in your joints. So you don't want to pull the ligaments in your elbows, but you want to pull and try to straighten it. Like that, you can do that. So be careful with that. I think you can also do it the other way around too, as well. That's actually, Nate, you did this in Aikido, didn't you? This arm thing. Yeah. All right, I think most of me is stretched out now. And I am starting to cool down pretty quickly. So if anybody has any questions, anything they would like me to cover maybe next week? I know we didn't do as much kicking today. I'm sorry. We did some front kicks. We did the axe. I showed you the axe kick and the crescent kicks again. We will try to do some more kicks next week. I am going to try and set up a Discord for the Taekwondo, but I haven't actually finished setting up the Discord, so I probably will set up a Sadman and have another Discord for Taekwondo specifically. So I think that's it for today. I am actually feeling pretty stretched out and warmed up. You're welcome, Rachel. Thanks for being here, everyone. I know you're all wonderful people. And I hope it helps. I mean, I hope it benefits people. Like I said, if you have any questions, I mean, for now, if you guys have questions, you can message me in either one of the Discords. You can message me either in, for now, until I set up the Discord for Taekwondo, you can just message me in the language Discord or the games Discord, or just like you should be able to message me directly if you're in either one of those servers. You should be able to message me directly if you guys have any more questions. Right on time. You have stupendous timing. That's what I had last week. Okay, I popped into Rachel's stream at the end of her game, like the actual end of her game. She finished the game and it was on credits. I also popped in on Taffy's stream last week when she got a massive raid. I think she got a massive raid. Like it was like 500. Taffy got raided by like 500 viewers last week. Just a completely random raid. Some guy was just done his thing and the viewers like, oh, go raid somebody in Duolingo. It's a small community. And he just randomly raided Taffy. It was 500 people and I just popped in to say hi. I was like, oh my god, you got a 500 plus raid. It was crazy. You saw that. It was funny. I was like, oh my god, I have stupendous timing. I just popped right in. Like literally, I sat down on my laptop and she got raided. I'm like, oh my god. Alright, so let's see if there's, who's in this category? Yes, actually, you know what? She is on. We are gonna raid somebody for sure. She is on. And everyone say NinjaBot raid. We are gonna raid this wonderful instructor, Tai Chi instructor. I'm gonna say thank you all for coming in and popping in, even popping at the last minute. You're welcome here. I will see you guys later, hopefully. I think I need to take a break tonight. I want to play, but I need to do things, and I need to take a break tonight and get some rest. But we're gonna raid this Tai Chi lady. Thanks for stopping in, Tony. Thank you. But yeah, don't worry about the stretches. I think it depends on what you're doing. I think when it comes to strength training, and Taekwondo has a lot of muscle training, it's probably better to keep up, work on flexibility afterwards. But you can always do anything that warms you up ahead of time. So, right now, end scene. Okay, got it. I just don't want you to hurt yourself, that's all. I love you people who don't want you to hurt yourself. Right now, say NinjaBot raid, and I will see you guys tomorrow for non-monolingual and multicultural in the afternoon.